Welcome to Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is Gayvn, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped you get off. And so has my guest. So of all of my guests, however, you probably have helped a lot of people get off, especially because of the fact that you have two fan sites or two Twitter fan sites. Award-winning porn star Joel Someone. How are you, sir?
There's more titles. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Award-winning porn star, producer, fashion model, right? Because you do modeling work. You all of that stuff. You know, one person once told me, once you win an award for something, you list it. It doesn't matter where the award came from. You are now an award-winning, whatever the case may be. You are an award-winning porn star. A Gayvn award-winning porn star.
You're gonna make me blush. No, it was such a I try so hard to be like humble about things, and I remember being at the award show because they did a partial live thing, and I was an announcer.
Oh, we watched,
and I did not prepare anything at all. And when they called me, I was truly in shock because everyone wants to win. And then you just kind of like bracing for it. You're just like, don't let them see that you're broken inside, kind of thing like that. And so you're just like, just getting ready to clap for like.
Yeah.
And so like when I won, I just was like, oh shit. And so, yeah, I didn't have anything prepared. I didn't thank my boyfriend. I didn't thank anybody. I felt like such a heel.
I know, but it's happening. It's the heat of the moment. And if you didn't prepare, I feel like it's better when you don't prepare.
No.
And you had a good time. You were like, we saw you. I remember being like, oh my God, look at
I know that bitch.
Yeah, I know. I was like, she's on my TV. I'm just kidding. No, but I'm very, very happy for you because you are out here. You're doing it. You're busy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're right. You're like, well, you had a scene before the one you did before here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you are Joel Someone. You live up to that name now.
I'm so honored. I truly, I can't say it enough. And then people have been so cool. Like, you know what I mean? You get to meet the coolest people in this industry. Like, I adore both of you boys. When I do these podcasts, it's usually because I fucked someone.
Yeah, you're in that that glow, the afterglows, the sex afterglow. Yeah. No, you guys. Yeah.
There's an audience participation.
Oh yeah, there is. I think. Oh no, hold on, that's Brenda. I gotta switch it back.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
We'll fucked it up, man. You fucked up the soundboard.
This is one of my favorite things.
I don't know why you hang out with her. She is such a hoe.
So what's up?
I live in Los Angeles full time now.
You're done with New York?
Sadly, yes. LA's been good to me.
Okay.
LA's been good to me. And it's funny, I keep talking to other performers who are living out in New York and they're like, work's drying up. It's getting harder to get gigs because they're not flying out people as much as they used to, it feels like. Like the studios, it's always been, I remember when I lived in New York, it was always hard to like land gigs that were on the other coast because there's so much talent in California, Arizona, like, you know what I mean? In just areas around it. And it's just to fly those New York models in. And there's only a handful of sites. And I know for a fact, like 2 or 3 of the sites that I worked with in New York aren't even shooting in New York anymore. You know what I mean? And so that's that. If I still was there, I'd be like, fuck.
And it's harder and harder to find models that I'm allowed to work with. I know. I have my phases, but I am stifled by a couple of things, and it's unfortunate. So I'm happy to get out of New York for a while.
It's fun out here.
Yeah. No. The last time I was in.
It's terrible. It's terrible too. But you know what you are, LA. You know what you are.
Yeah, but New York is like that too. It's fun, but it's also like when you sit in traffic.
Yeah.
And you're like, how the fuck is this taking an hour to get across New York? Like,
bitch, where the hell are you going in a
8th
car?
Avenue to 2nd.
Where the hell are you going in a car?
Oh, when I was shooting, when I shoot for Treasure Island, I'm like, listen, I am not traveling. I'm not going on a bus.
Because I can say this, right? People know that you're from New Jersey.
Yeah. Yes, they do. I have no shame in New Jersey.
I'm just of course you're from Jersey. You got a fucking car.
I have space issues. I need space. And in New York, I think that you have to be rich to live well in New York.
You do. But it's even when you are like rich in New York, it's like, yes, I will sit in an Uber for 45 minutes until I get across town. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love the fucking subway. That's like the thing I miss the most is the subways, just chilling out and listening to people scream. Just like, you know what I mean? Just like
white noise.
Oh, someone yelling. So, nope.
Yeah, I just did it because of the whole pandemic thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie. I also did it because I was like, oh, I really don't want to, I prefer to be in my car. And if everything's going to get paid for me, then fuck yeah.
All right. You go, Glen Coco. So you guys are here in LA.
We're here in LA.
And, it's been really cool. I won my award for my bi-porn stuff, which has been
Wait, the Gayvn was for a bi-porn scene?
Yeah, it was
Get the
best
fuck out of here.
bisexual performance.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. So you were going strong.
I am.
Yeah.
The scene I did yesterday was a bi scene. Like the last 3 days I've been working a lot. And the great thing about it is things like I'm going to give like things to tell people like TTS is out here. The TTS talent testing is out here.
Okay.
And so when you go out there, I can go in. If I went in this morning, my test would be done by tomorrow morning, and then I'm ready to shoot with anybody. And that's like big. Like TTS is big out here. Like all the studios use it for the most part. It's like a report card. Whereas in New York, it was through some fucking health spa or something like that, and they'd always lose it, and there'd always have to have an extra day buffer, which porn sites aren't patient.
Yeah,
they're like, you know what I mean. So. TTS is out here, and that's been like a really like I'll go in, and then all of a sudden, and it. I always tell people I have mine always ready because I get lots of gigs on the fly. Like the bi studio will always get someone who's like, yeah, I want to try having sex with a girl, and then they don't, and then the next morning they're like,
hey,
I'm not feeling really well today, and I just can't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a California thing. I've gotten so many jobs from Californians who just like got too stoned the night before, and they're like, nah.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that a lot in California, and we had this big shoot in 2009. I'm dating myself, but yeah, we did the LA Zombie movie with Bruce LaBruce way back when.
Oh,
that was when I was still with Dark Alley, but yeah,
that's awesome.
we did that shoot, and we were here for like 3 weeks, and everybody was still faxing in 2009. And I'm like, just pick up the phone.
Wow,
and,
you were. What was on TV at the time?
Yeah.
Why don't you date yourself further?
No, but the idea is, who the hell is faxing in 2009? It was a bit much. But I did see that whole. I could do this, but I don't know if I want to.
When you're a performer, you take it.
Oh yeah,
you take it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I also was like, you know what? I just moved you guys back. Let's we can do 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I will do the morning here, and then I'll head over there. Because I like being flexible like that. Mm-hmm. Also, I took a nap and had a meal. I'm good. I'm good to fuck.
Damn, and you bottomed.
And I bottomed.
Holy fuck.
I bottomed this morning,
Yes, yeah.
and then I topped, and then I bottomed, and then we put our butts together, and he poured it all over. Yeah, right. There was some epic.
Do you I know you work a lot with Carnal Media, and you do a lot of Big Brother like kind of scenarios and stuff, and
I charged in Carnal. I've actually worked
Okay.
for both of them now. I've officially crossed the border.
Ooh, okay.
I know
Yeah.
all the gossip too. All of it.
But you also take on this whole, even off camera, you take on this role of like
Dad. I'm a
dad or Big Brother, I think too, because you ease people into it.
Porn can be scary.
Yeah.
Porn's one of those, even as performers who have been in it forever, it's just you're worried the one day you're going to come in and your stuff isn't going to work. Because you have those days. You have those days when you're like, wow, penis, you are not feeling it. Or ass, what is your problem? No,
I was ready this morning.
Everything hurts. No. Don't you poke me there. And that happens. That happens to everyone. And so when it does happen to you, the times afterwards, you always are like a little flinch. You're like, no, is this the time it's not going to work again? No. And that fear is there. And I find being kind of like terminally optimistic helps. You know what I mean? Like when you walk into a room and you're just like, I'm excited. We're going to have sex. Like, you know what I mean? Just having that super upbeat energy, I would say 75 to 80% of people are super down. That 20% who aren't, though, they're like, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
What the fuck is his deal?
Why are you happy?
We're all fucked up, buddy. Why are you smiling?
No, yeah, I can't see. I've never seen what good any kind of awful mood on anybody, any crew member, director, anything can bring to any set.
And it's not just models, because it'll be like you'll go on and the director's having a bad day,
Yeah.
and he's like constantly interrupting, and then you have two models that are like, "Are we doing good?"
Yeah, yeah. You need. I think
Dad's mad. Dad's mad.
Yeah, you need assurance. You need, a lot of this business is psychology.
Yes,
and how you speak to people and how you make them feel. And if you don't make them feel good or look good, they're not going to work with you. You have to find ways to talk to them, and you have to find ways to talk to them, but not manipulatively.
Yeah,
you have to actually mean it.
Oh, absolutely.
And they can sense whether or not you're being truthful. And I was talking to Adam Russo, and I'm like, luckily, I don't think I have enemies in this industry that I know of, but that's fine. That's all good. Like, we're all in this together. This is a porn ecosystem, and we need to. That whole let's come together and gay people and let's exhibit it, and let's make it happen a little more. So I think that a happy set is a good set. If everybody's happy on set, even if, like, for instance, there was that instance where, stuff happens, shit happens on set.
Well, yeah. Well, it just, I've had a lot of sexual experience in my life. And I've shit on somebody's dick before. Like, you know what I mean? Like, someone's pulled out and it was chocolate. And it's embarrassing. And, it happens to all of us. Yeah. Some people don't react well to it. Some people I've had people throw a fit. And it's like, you get to like a really vulnerable, like, oh my God, I thought we were having sex, which is like a vulnerable act. And now I feel like I'm being chastised by a parent. And once you get to head space, you're like, I don't want to have sex with this parent. This is not fun.
Yeah, and then going back and trying to clean out is now it's a job. Now it feels like
now you're panicking.
Yeah,
you're panicking. Like, I can't do this. Right? I'm just a fuck up, and it doesn't need to be that. It doesn't need to be that at all. And so, that's a roll with the punches kind of situation. And also, like, I remember being new. I remember being new before I did porn. Like, I got really good at bottoming before I did porn. Because there's nothing worse than going to like a really hot orgy of dudes. It's like, that guy's hot. And then you poop the bed. And you're just like, you're standing there holding the sheet like, I'm sorry. And then you leave your shoes. And you're just like, I don't need shoes. They weren't that nice. Not saying this firsthand. It's not like that happened. That never happened in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh man, what studio?
No, it just happened in real life. That's the best thing, is the only people who can talk about it are like 6 people. I think they were high as fuck. So
so they
doesn't even matter.
But it doesn't.
They don't remember the next day.
What new studios have you added to your catalog?
So Carnal was one of them. Okay. Carnal was one I worked with. It was very flattering to work with them. They were very cool to me. They flattered me in such nice ways. Oh my goodness. Like, they knew about my work, and they had seen kind of me progressing and stuff. And it was just like a long time coming. And so when I did, it was a lot of fun, cool energy.
Mm-hmm. Carnal's LeGrand Wolf, right?
LeGrand. Yeah, and he's one of those people that when you meet him, he just turns into the family dick doctor right there. You're just like, oh,
yeah, there's something wrong with me.
There's something wrong with me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're just like melting. And he's smart as fuck. Dude.
Yeah. No,
he's actually a brilliant human being. Like, he's one of those people that will just completely change your perception of what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah. Well, we had been talking about a podcast, and it was all good, and we kept in touch until he said, okay, well, have this person set it up for me. And then I reached out to that person, and they never set it up. So now I got to contact him again,
yes.
And kind of like restart that process. But yeah, no, we had everything down to everything we were going to talk about, even that stuff.
He takes. He's actually has like a degree in like human sexuality. He's
okay.
He's really smart. Okay. Really very smart.
Yeah, no, I'm very attracted to that.
And he's there's different styles of doing porn. And I do lots of studio porn, and watching like them set everything up while you're sitting there like, You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Is kind of exhausting. And so it's hard because I know you guys as being the like, all right, get him in, have him, fuck, da 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 da, get the energy out. And then it's usually within like an hour. And I love that.
Well, I don't think that, like, I don't, it would never be like a 6-hour shoot. Like
Oh,
the scenarios.
No, never.
See, for me, scenarios are 30 seconds to a minute. You set it up, and then I think people can work with that. I've gotten so comfortable with working with you that I know that you're good, but there are times where if you're working with people and you've never worked with them before, you have to have them talk to each other and be like, what do you like? What do you don't? What don't you like? And that's where, like, I feel the 3-part template came from. Look, this is all I need. I need you to do this, this, and that. How do you come? What's the best way to come?
Yup.
Like if you can get that, then you can do whatever. Like go on set, and it's just a template. You don't have to follow it, but
well, and and that's the fun thing about doing studio is I love doing studio, but they'll have you do like a stack where it's like, all right, well, you're going to sit here with your heart erection the entire time and not be able to move your hips or legs or touch it, and we're going to sit someone onto your penis, and they're going to have some level of movement, not anything that's going to get you hard, I promise. And on top of them, we're going to put another person, and we need you to do that for 5 to 10 minutes. Could you do that? Yeah, we're doing a stack. All of you are in core like positions. Yeah, all core. Now fuck. And I do it. It gets done. But yeah, that's definitely a little work.
It's hard, and I think I believe that the more uncomfortable it looks or feels, the hotter it's going to be. Like, I love small spaces because of the fact, like, I looked at that closet in there and I was like, holy fuck, that would be amazing. Because I shot this scene once for Raw Fuck Club in a hallway. It's called The Real Pump and Dumps of Chicago.
Oh, I've seen that one. I love
the one
that
with Asher
video.
Devon and I can't remember his name now, the bottom model.
There was this cute little Asian one that was in that video too.
Yeah.
And I loved it, and it was so cheesily verbal, which I loved because it was all me making porn. I remember watching that, like sitting at home being like and being like, oh, this is so weird and hot.
Yeah. Well, see, it was
he's just so
fun.
happy about being such a cum dump. Yeah. He's just pleased about it. He's just his personality and just likes jizz.
Yeah, and a lot of it's staged, but what they say is not staged. No. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Oh, I know who you're talking about. You were talking about the Rick York scene with I'll get his name. I know who you're talking about, but yes.
I had the biggest crush on him because I thought he was so well, and it's what
Great performer,
inspired
too.
It's what inspired my baby daddy performances. A lot of those just confident bottoms, like bottoms who were like, yes, hi everybody, I'm gonna hold myself open, and these two men are gonna stick their cocks in me, and I'm really excited about it, which is just so against what porn felt like for the longest time about bottoming and like, all right, little boy, just look down into the pillow while this happens to you, kind of thing. If you need to bite it, go right ahead. Like this, like it was always like kind of like the bottom needs to be like relatively ashamed about enjoying dick, and I kind of love that perspective on it. Like I think that's super cool, and at the time I was like, that made me come. You're gonna see I do this a lot in real life, I promise.
Nothing wrong with that. I used to do that into people's faces. They didn't like that much.
Oh, well, you're not supposed to finish. Like that's the trick. It's rude to do it like this. It's vulgar to finish. Like,
how dare you? Okay, so Carnal Media.
Yes.
Any in the bi porn you've been doing Biphoria, right?
Doing Biphoria, Devil's Films. They have a bunch of like little. They film for a bunch of different little deals. I've been working for Gamma, which has been really cool.
Gamma, what is it?
They're adult time now.
Oh yes, okay.
And they are a Goliath. Like I remember I had like.
Oh yeah, they're
the real deal, and I've been really pleased with them. They have cool directors. I've been working with a lot of like female directors.
Bree,
and Bree's cool, and and they have fun scripts, like, and they let me cheeseball it out. There has been some shoots because I love the acting part. The acting part, which everybody like bitches and moans about, is my favorite. I will memorize my script, and I get to play.
You're off book.
I'm off book. Well, and it's just it's when you're off book, it's nice because if a performer comes in not knowing their lines at all, it's so much easier to remember your lines. So much easier if you don't know your lines when your scene partner knows all of them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like leading, like the words for that. Like it's even conversational. Like if you know all your lines, it leads into theirs a lot easier. So it's like responses will be like, yes. It's like, how are you feeling? Good is the next line. Yeah. So it usually helps. But whereas if both of you don't know your lines, you don't know how to set up one for the other. So it kind of makes things smoother. And I don't judge people on not learning their lines. It's just, I get it. It's you received 2 pages of dialogue last night and you had a life. You have a life.
How long are their scripts?
It depends. It depends.
Okay.
I would say, a lot of the buy stuff will be maybe like 3 pages and little bits here. It won't be more than like, oh, David, I haven't seen you. I thought you were in Chicago, kind of thing like that. Like it's easy lines. It's conversational kind of, you know what I mean? So it's like you're just holding a conversation and they're just giving you like the lightest bit of plot.
Yeah, no, I like that. I enjoy that. I think there's something to be said about that.
I do Pure Taboo. That's one I've been working on. And that one's been a lot of fun because they really I'm doing that tomorrow as well.
Wait, Pure Taboo is straight?
Pure Taboo is everything.
Okay.
Pure Taboo is trans. Pure Taboo, they do bi. Pure Taboo, I'm doing a gay scene tomorrow. It's one that it's an interesting website. I think they do kind of a little bit of everything on their website, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because also that's kind of what people are finding is a little bit like people are like there's a certain type of person who watches all of it.
Yeah.
Like there's girls who like watching gay porn.
Yeah,
There's men who like watching bi porn and
yeah, I love bi porn and I love straight porn. I remember one of the things I used to love growing up was Friendly Fire.
yeah. We've talked about this.
Yeah,
we have talked about this before. That
yeah.
famous video of some straight dude jizzing on another guy's face.
Yeah.
And just the face he's making, like, no,
cut, yeah.
no. Yeah, no, it was pretty
That's right.
But I think that really is kind of cool, though, because even though straight performers won't kind of like sometimes work with other performers or switch into other kind of lanes, having them on the same website as people who are kind of like have varying sexual kind of identities and choices, I think it's kind of cool. I think that kind of like opens it up in a consensual way that almost feels non-consensual. It's like, you're like, ooh, I'm watching straight porn. And then all of a sudden there's gay butt sex.
Yeah. Should I cross the final frontier?
I'm going to click on that.
Exactly.
And I'm kind of interesting to see this man get pegged.
I find that a lot of straight guys do enjoy trans models. They do, and they say it, and I can't. Wow, I wouldn't know. That was always a conversation. I wouldn't. So I'm like, okay, well, they're a little open about this.
But at the same time, they don't look at a trans woman as anything but a woman, and it's hard because once you tack something as a gender, as a sexuality attached to it. Some people aren't brave enough to admit that, maybe it means I'm a little more open or something like that. Like the idea that I have to be a heterosexual sometimes is what someone's needs are saying. And that's fair. That's totally fair. And there is actually something really nice about them kind of wanting to keep that person the gender they want to believe them as, because that's probably also what that person believes too. Like if you're fucking a trans woman, she wants you to believe she's a woman too. So she's honored that the straight dude's like, feel your pussy, baby. Feel your da-da-da. Like, you know what I mean? And really kind of, that's my opinion.
Yeah. And I always thought, like, for straight men who go out and fuck guys or fuck trans women and stuff, for them it's a fetish almost. The way they make it sound.
It's true.
But I never looked at it from the other side.
I fucked straight men before. And I remember I fucked this one straight dude and we were still having heterosexual sex in his mind. He just wasn't the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I remember he was hairless and he had like the little like landing strip crotch kind of thing like that. In his mind, it was still straight sex.
Okay.
He was just the other part of the equation, which, made me appreciate it in the moment. I didn't get upset that I'm like, no, he doesn't want to have sex with a dude. That's just his preferences. I'm not going to judge him for him. Props to you and letting a man fuck you. But I've met some straight guys that love getting butt fucked. I have met some straight guys that like a dick inside of themselves, and then that's kind of cool. Like that's super cool because they get super into it.
And it's not easy. I don't know.
Oh. That's when you have to be like a gay uncle to them. You're like, baby, I'm going to give you some tips. I enjoyed this. We had a good time. I'm going to give you some tips on how to make sure it's more fun next time.
I watch a lot of straight porn, and watching anal sex in straight porn, I'm like, wow, man, she took that like a champ. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I always think it's practice, obviously. Like, people practice. I talk to a lot of bottoms. What is your routine like? Because you do both. You're both. You are hardcore verse.
Do you want the nitty gritty?
I would love to hear that.
I use a shower, shot, and a toy.
Okay.
And I will admit that I put way too much water in myself like 3 hours beforehand. Like way too much water in myself. And I use a toy to get it up and get it out and all that kind of stuff. And then for the next 3 hours, there will be movement. And when I head back to it, I do probably another just simple like squeeze pump douche or something like that. And everything comes out. And then I use the toy to make sure every bit of water is out of me, and I'm good. And I have, and the other thing that it also does is it loosens you up. Okay. So you have that like, because when you're with guys with huge cock, sometimes they can't get it 110. You know what I mean? So having that loose pussy ass is kind of nice because you can get it in and get your rhythm. I got the rhythm of it, kind of thing like that. He's not squeezing the blood out of me. You know what I mean? So I like having a loose pussy ass for guys because on set, when you're trying to get hard, if you want to fake it a little bit, you can fake it in my house. You can fake it in my house. I got that loose pussy ass. Don't worry. You can fake it.
But what about you? Okay, so do you mentally prepare for taking a big dick too?
Yes.
Okay.
I get super vulnerable. I get super, super vulnerable. And I struggle to flip sometimes. When I'm a bottom, I go, ooh, oh, oh my, okay. I'm just a performer, and I'm very much a middle child in my life. I always have been. And so I'm always kind of like testing the air of the room. And so having that control over being like hyper positive was always kind of like, that was very much a coping mechanism in my entire life. And so it's suited me really well as like an adult, because like if I could set the tone of the room, awesome.
What about because you have a big dick.
Thank you.
What about
it thanks you.
Do you have any big dick problems?
I love getting fucked. I love getting fucked. But that's one of my big dick problems is that you know what I mean? Like if it's not 100% full, and bottoms can be tight. Bottoms can be tight, especially muscle bottoms. I keep getting like paired up with these guys whose bodies are so perfect. They're so fucking perfect. They're just like, on their all fours, they look like a pit bull. Like just every muscle is a muscle, and every part of them is a really tight muscle. And then you're right behind them, and it's literally the tightest asshole you've ever been. And you're just like, and like, you know, I'm nice. So nobody likes fingers. I don't like fingers. I'm not a finger person because I don't know why people always want to go for the gold when it comes to fingers. It's like, you know, all right, I'm gonna loosen you up. We're trying fisting today. Just one. Just start with one, please.
Yeah.
And my ass doesn't need it. My ass doesn't need a finger. Trust me. Like you could be halfway limp and you can still go inside of me. But some guys' asses need a finger. They just do. And I always show it to them. I'm like, look at the nail. There's no nail on here. And when I put it up, I'm beveling up. I'm beveling up. I am finding the button that is your prostate, and I am pulling, doing all of these things. I need you to loosen up because my penis won't go in, and neither of us will get paid.
And it's like by the time you pull your finger out, it's like red.
Yes.
All the blood pressure is
and also putting lube in someone. Like sometimes people are really tight and dry, and that's like. That's a good way to like pump, push, pump,
okay.
like dilating. And if I'm really horny, I'll do a spit. I'll do a spit in my tongue. I'm like, putting spit into them, just like, come on.
So you like it dirty. You like it really dirty, right? Like,
well, you know, I like it dirty when it's clean.
Well, yeah, no,
you know what I mean? Like I'm a very carnal person. Like trust me, I become such an intense sexual creature during sex. And it's so nice to be in a career where I can be appreciated for that. Like that's cool as fuck. Is that now I can let that real monster out and not be afraid. Awesome. But that's badass.
What do you want to do? What else is left to I feel like you've done a good amount of stuff.
I want more awards.
You want more awards? Did forgetting one kind of make you want?
them all.
Yeah.
No, I want them all. No, I want more work.
You don't need them. You know that.
No, I know.
All right.
I know.
Even like I enjoy going to them, and I enjoy. But the funny thing is,
I'm
when we were there in 2020, when we were there in 2020, I just remember being like, I'm having a good time regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not big on Drag Race anymore. I'm not big on cheesy comedy anymore. And the awards, the opening routines and stuff, they're a little cheesy.
They're super cheesy.
Yeah, but
it's like an award show. It's like it's our thing. It's our Oscars.
yes, and it's fun. But I'm so against this idea of pitting people against each other.
I know.
And on top of that, you can't nominate 25 people and then just give one.
They do nominate a lot of people.
And I feel like it's placating. I feel like it's kind of okay. Well, let's do this. Let's do that. I enjoy it. I think that
Everyone
people should be
wants to
recognized.
win. Like I said, I did 2 years of being nominated a lot without winning, and everyone wants to win. And it just shows. But the truth was, I remember the first year I went, I got nominated. What was it, like 6 times? And I remember going from someone who wasn't getting work, wasn't noticed by directors, to someone who was. And I remember, even though I lost every award that year, really remembering that, I was like, you know what? You won this year. You won because you got better work.
Mm-hmm.
You won because people knew your name in this career, and you were nominated more times than anyone that year. And that's a huge honor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like I said, I hate going on this tangent, but I lost my Insta this year. Again.
Yeah.
I got my Insta taken down again. And it's just like when it happened, I was like, wow. And it's like 15,000 followers aren't real. It's not real. It's not real. It's I know it seems bigger than it actually is. But like even when that happened, I remember this really, really talented designer had a piece of clothing I loved. And I saved it on my, I saved it in my saved photos, kind of thing like that. And I'd go, whenever I was depressed, I'd go look at it. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this piece of like couture, like clothing that he handmade. And I finally reached out to him because I wanted him to make me one. And I got him off the gram. And then my gram got canceled. And I remember just being super grateful that I'm like, you know what? You reached out to that person finally that you admired and thought their work was so cool. And I remember he gave me that piece of clothing, like to cheer me up about losing my Instagram.
That's
and
very
then
nice.
He's friends with Katya Zamolodchikova, and I got to go sit and chain smoke with her. Like, you know what I mean? He gave me an article of clothing that I had pined over for years, and then took me to my favorite drag queen to watch her chain smoke. And you know what I mean? It was just like in that moment, it's like, you can't be mad about your stupid Instagram, you spoiled brat. Oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? Like it does suck and it's stupid, but there's so much more for me to be grateful for. And I don't want to just live in that. I don't want to live in being upset. I've gone through so much in my life to get to the point I am. And it's weird to have this thing that I have to keep, like, it's like social media sometimes is like a bad relationship you have to keep going to. And I just need to look at it in different ways. Like I can't be like as obsessed with it as I was, because you remember, everything was curated. Everything was perfect. It was like my little portfolio that you just scroll down and see how important and special I was.
But it really sucks too, because it's out of all the social medias, I feel like that's one of the hardest. You can go on TikTok and blow your nose, and you'll get followers for for days. But Instagram, I feel, is a little classier than Twitter.
It is.
And you can put some good stuff up there, and you can follow some cool people, and so and I didn't even have 15,000 followers. It's small, but it's something. It's a good, significant amount. Yeah, exactly.
And especially being a sex worker, they don't like sex workers. They really don't. They really, really don't, and they really come down hard on them. Which means, and like this was my second one, and truly. The worst part is just people asking me what I did. Like, what did you do? I don't know. I really don't. I wasn't getting warnings. I wasn't one of those people posting up inappropriate content or even trying to push inappropriate content with like a censor. I really wasn't. And if you're getting to this point about my sad Instagram tangent, we're doing another Easter egg. All right. So if you've watched up to this point, hit me up on my DMs and I will send you a Dropbox of some dirty content. I'll send you a free video. I like doing that for people because God knows you've listened to a lot of me fucking talking. So you can watch some of me fucking if you want. So hit me up on Twitter because I'm afraid to. That's the other thing. Fucking Insta has made me so paranoid. Like I don't even cuss anymore on there. I don't even like. I like people will send me dirty pictures on fucking the DM. I'm like, please don't do that. I don't know if they're watching.
I don't know
if they're watching because you'll get like little flags. Like they'll send you a flag. Like, do you know this person? Do you know the content they're sending you? Like if you'll send like a dirty video, it's almost like they knew. Right? See, I feel as though being like having issues with Instagram is like being on crystal meth. I'm like paranoid. I'm like, all right, I don't know if this what this means. They're watching right now. They got a list. Oh. So anyway,
but people, I have to say, they really like hearing you talk. They do.
They like watching me eat tacos. Did you see that?
No.
So when I first started my Instagram, I'd go to Del Taco and get 3 tacos and just eat and talk to the camera because I'm weird. I don't know. It sounds fun. I dated a guy once who used to love watching me eat because he's like, you eat so masculine. I'm like, masculine? I eat like a masculine person? What the fuck does that mean? It's just like my voice. People will compliment my voice. I'm like, you sure about that?
No, yeah, you have a great voice.
Thank you. And when you hear compliments on it enough, you better take the fucking note.
Yeah. Do something with it.
Yeah. That's my biggest thing for like performers is if some people keep complimenting you on a feature or something like that, just take the compliment. Mm-hmm. Like if 10 people have given you this compliment, it means it's good looking to everyone.
Yeah, okay, that's a good way to look at it. I actually, just to touch on the last podcast that we did, I ended up getting a lot of messages about you, but also the fact that, he's not a real straight person or he's not a real gay person anymore. I don't get it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like everybody is capable of liking everything. There's nothing wrong with, I don't know when this happened.
Some people are really scared. Some people are really scared that I'm putting it, because like I see when I read some of them, they believe I'm pushing a narrative of like kind of like heterosexuality. Like this is the sneaky way that I'm going to convert people back
an agenda.
Which, I get it because there are people who really have suffered from that kind of narrative and that kind of like mind, like you need to be this and stuff. And, I'm learning about myself that maybe I wasn't fully gay. Maybe until I was 30 years old, I wasn't fully gay. I have 2 boyfriends. I prefer the company of men when it comes to like relationships. But like there was something missing in me personally, in my experience in my life. You know what I mean? I wanted to explore. I wanted to try different things. And that was my experience. I wanted to complete the sex act. So maybe, does that make me not a gay man? Like I wanted to kind of complete the animalistic sex act of a man and a woman, if not once in my life, because I was so scared of it for so long. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know what that means. I don't know how to tell people this. I would never see a little gay boy and tell him that you need to do this at least once in your life. Mm-hmm. No. A good teacher shows you that I'm willing to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I also wanted the work.
But not everybody can say, I lost my virginity to a woman on camera, and you can, which is, it's quite the opposite for me when you talk about that. And I know that there's a lot of people like that as well, who I had to fake the narrative of being straight in order to be accepted.
Yes.
And then I realized I don't want to do this anymore. So I just think any kind of bashing when it comes to that shit is not like people you should be able to do whatever you want.
But a person like you would have a different perspective that I don't see because I didn't have to live that life. Mm-hmm. And so it's hard for me. Like, and I talk about trolls a lot because I don't judge them. I really don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get it. And I'm in a very comfortable place in my life to where the things they say are so topical. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Sure. You know what I mean? I'm like, I said this last time, I put like porn trolls on the same level as like drag queen trolls. You know what I mean? Like ones who watch like RuPaul's Drag Race and they're like, well, first of all, honey, to do a correct lip sync. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's doing it wrong. She's doing it. Oh my God. Me and all my friends were just shouting at the television how she's doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. We're not doing it right now, but you're doing it wrong. And that's kind of the same thing in the sense that like, oh, that porn star's doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. I'm not doing it, but you're doing it wrong. And cool. Okay. And the only reason I even remotely sympathize with that is I was a non-porn performer doing that. I remember because I was obsessed with porn. Before I started doing porn myself, porn meant everything to me. Everything. So I get these people who maybe have watched all my twisted, fun, incest-themed videos all of a sudden be like, now he's fucking, I knew it. I knew it.
That son of a bitch lied to me.
Well, just because, the thing that's about it is, and why I tell people I'm actually not as upset about my Instagram as I lead on, is because I'm really lucky. And I lead a life that's cool. I work with professional photographers. I get to work with cool talent. I fuck ridiculously attractive people. Fuck, I'd hate me too if 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I'd be rooting for that motherfucker to fail. Like, you suck, Joel, someone.
Yeah.
And I know about it.
I kind of wish I knew where the line was where you are rooting for somebody and then eventually it turns into, oh, well, I'm so tired of this person. Because it happens a lot.
I hope I'm really grateful to my parents. Because they really tried to teach me to be humble my whole life. Because I had a lot more than a lot of people around me. And the thing they taught me was, you know what? You have these privileges and you're very lucky. But if you rub it in these people's faces, they're going to hate you. Why would you do that? You already have the privilege. You don't need to tell people you have the privilege. And that was something really important to me. And which is also why I already have such a weird relationship with Instagram is I don't brag about everywhere I go. I post up my work. I post up my artwork. I post up things that I think are beautiful and heavily curated and I think are special. I'm not bragging about every fancy dinner I go to or whatnot, which you're supposed to do technically, because you're supposed to pump out content and you're supposed to pump out stuff like that. But those are the people root for to fail. And I get why. So it's a really hard line. It's already being on there is such a weird experience.
It is.
And so then, and it just brings me back to being a little kid. Because my life has always been like an I Love Lucy episode in the sense that there's a correct way to do this. There's a correct way to do this, and it's a very straight path. I'm not doing it that way. I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it my way, and it's going to be a winding, stupid path with lots of comedy, but it's going to be the harder way. And that's always been my experience. And so to have social media just shut me down and say you're wrong and there's something dirty about you and you have no right to say anything about it is really, it brings me back to really vulnerable places that I don't like. And verbalizing it makes me realize why it hurts so bad is because it's kind of being a confused kid again and being told the way you're doing something is wrong. And, that's what hurts the most about it. And then I've always been good at humbling myself in the sense that I'm like, there's people dying in Ukraine right now. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Why are you worried about something that's not real? You know what I mean? I'm really quick to tell myself that doesn't matter. And that's been my saving grace a lot in my life, but it's also been something that's kind of been a hindrance to me. And so that's my deal with it.
We have a lot more to see for you.
You too.
Me too. You are not done by any means, and you are going to continue being an award-winning porn star.
Oh, and it's the third in our relationship with me and my boyfriend. Like we have a third. This is the fourth.
I love it.
My boyfriend brought a boyfriend, and I brought one too. I should have brought him today. I should have brought the damn award.
Oh yeah, that would have been fun.
I brought it to set the other day because the director I won it for, I brought it to show him, and I put it up. Well, it's of course my Twitter. It's very my Twitter. I'm butt naked with an erection, holding the award, handing it over to the director, who's fully dressed. I'm like, he's seeing his grandson for the first time. Because that's what it was, and he's more of a straight director, so it was his first Gayvn as well, and it was super cool.
Yeah. All right. So when people want to find Joel someone,
Yes,
they have to look for your new Instagram.
they gotta look my new Instagram.
But where else are they going to find you?
So my Twitter is still going strong, and that's Joel Someone, the number 1. So Joel Someone 1, and then search it because all porn actors are shadow banned. So you'll have to find like a tag of me on it or something like that. Which, like I said, a lot of people find me. And Twitter. And then if you want to find my new Instagram, while it lasts, it's Joel/someone. And so at least I got a decent name this time. And yeah, because the last time it was Joel Someone Tramp.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because I lost Joel someone proper, and I just was so annoyed. I'm just like, all right, tramp. Joel someone tramp.
So Joel underscore someone.
Joel underscore someone.
And then
OnlyFans, I'm Joel someone, just Joel someone, and then just for fans, I'm Joel someone one again.
Guys, this is Demystifying Gay Porn. We are on every single podcast directory. We are on YouTube. We are on Instagram, second account. We are on Facebook. That's why the numbers are so. It really is hard to get back on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, which is an interesting one, because I get trolls there. And I put you up on there too. But yeah, so you can find us on all of these social media sites. And again, thank you so much, Joel, someone for doing this. I absolutely appreciate it. Every time you're a staple. Every single time, every single season, I want to have you on. I want to know what's going on. You are fun.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I really do love you guys. You truly, I love podcasting with you. Your podcast is so much fun. You guys always bring on people that are hilarious, even when they're not. Like, I'm sorry. I've seen some interviews where I'm like, oh, I'm so glad you're there at least. Not to talk shit.
Yeah, no. Well, you know what? I like to give everybody a space, and I think it's fun. It's a lot of fascinating people out there in the world, and I want to meet every single one of them. I know it's not going to happen, but I can sure try.
You know, and I think that's what makes this, like, because I think this is what also makes people, like, I love putting the Easter egg in. I really do. Anytime someone watch a podcast with me, I always say the Easter egg, because I like people reaching out and telling me they saw me. It's so flattering. I get so many messages in my inbox that are just hi. And it's hard for me to respond to them because I'm like, I'll say like hi 1,000 times. Yeah. It's not really any conversation. But if someone says they watched my podcast, I'm so honored. I'm like, thank you. I love being a heightened sexual creature. But you humanizing me and then still being able to find me sexual, you're fucking sicko. You're sick. You're a sick human being, and I like you.
Well, shit, there you have it. Joel, someone. Guys, hay que grande. This is Demystifying Gay Porn, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped you get off. At least once or twice. And so is he.
Bye.
Bye.